We already know how to simplify fractions. Let's see an example over here. Over here we have 2 over 5 multiplied by 4 over 12. So we will solve this expression in 3 simple steps. Step 1 would be multiply the numerators together. So 2 times 4. Then step 2 would be that we multiply the denominators together. So 5 times 12. After multiplying the numerator and the denominators together, we will get 8 over 60. But this is not the final answer. Step 3 would be that we take out the highest common factor of 8 and 60 and divide 8 and 60 by that highest common factor. The HCF or the highest common factor of 8 and 60 is 4. So if we divide 8 by 4, we will get 2, and if we divide 60 by 4, we will get 15, and this is the final answer. Now, is there an easy way to simplify fractions? What will we do if we get a fraction, an expression, something like this? For example, 81 over 100 multiplied by 50 over 72. How will we simplify this type of fraction? Considering the fact that if we multiply the numerators and the denominators together, we will get a very large numerator and a very large denominator, which would be very difficult to simplify. For example, if we multiply 81 by 50, we will get 4050. Whereas if we multiply 72 and 100, we will get 7200. And simplifying this is very difficult. So the question is there another way to simplify fraction? The answer is yes. Let's see what we can do. So to simplify or to multiply an expression like this, we will follow some steps. So step 1 would be that we will check the numerators and the denominators of the two fractions, and we will see, or we will try to see, that do we have a numerator or do we have a denominator that is a multiple of another numerator or the denominator. What I am trying to say is that if we see this whole expression, we can see that 100 is a multiple of 50. So whenever this is the case, what we will do is that we will work out the highest common factor of 50 and 100 and divide these two numbers by that highest common factor. So the HCF of 50 and 100 is 50. So what we will do is that we will divide 50 and 100 by 50. So 50 divided by 50 will give us 1, and 100 divided by 50 will give us 2. Okay, now we will now compare these two numbers. Do these two numbers have a highest common factor? The answer is yes, they have a highest common factor of 9. So what we will do is that we will divide 81 by 9, so this will give us 9, and we will divide 72 by 9, this will give us 8, and then we are left with something like this. Now this is very easy to work with, comparing it with this expression. Now what we will do is that simply multiply the numerators together, so 9 times 1, and multiply the denominators together, so 2 times 8, and the final answer will be 9/16. Let's take another example. Let's say if we have a fraction (63) divided by 70 multiplied by 25 times 145. So first of all, what we will do is that we will check if we have a denominator or a numerator which is a multiple of another numerator or denominator. But in this case, we do not have a numerator or denominator which is a multiple of another numerator or denominator. So then what we will do is that we will compare these two fractions. We will compare the numerator of this fraction with the denominator of this fraction. So if we look closely, we can see that 63 and 70 have a highest common factor of 7. So we will divide 63 by 7, which will give us 9, and we will divide 70 by 7, which will give us 10. Then we will compare the numerator of this fraction by the denominator of this fraction. So if we can see that they have the highest common factor of 5, so we will divide 25 by 5, which will give us 5, and 145 divided by 5 will give us 29. Now we are left with something like this. Now if we can see clearly, 10 is a multiple of 5. So what we will do is that we will divide 10 and 5 by the highest common factor. The highest common factor of 5 and 10 is 5. So we will divide 10 by 5, which will give us 2, and 5 by 5, which will give us 1. So we are left with something like this. And then we will multiply the numerators together. So 9 times 1 divided by 2 times 29, which will give us 9 times 58, and this is the final answer. I hope you understood.